What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you guys for tuning in. I just finished up Friday's video, so if you haven't checked that out, go check that out. What we got going on today is we are actually going to try our best to find exactly where that letter bar crossmember is supposed to go. What I got to do to get to that point is I got to take everything out. I got to take Framerails out, I got to take our fake axle out, got to take the tire out, and got to put the transmission in. So I got to put the transmission in, run a string through it, and attach the string to the rear end housing that I'm going to set up here, and we're going to find center again. So we're going to find center again. We're going to make sure the rear end housing is about where ride height is going to be, and we're just going to make sure that where I have the ladder bar crossmember right now is not going to interfere with the drive shaft. Make sure that the ladder bar crossmember is low enough, and I think it is. I don't think we're going to have any issue, especially considering that I already have to do a drive shaft enclosure in this thing because the motor sits up a little bit higher than where it should. I'm really only doing that for, obviously, crappy surfaces. Sits up a little bit high. I'm not a huge fan of it, but it sits where I think it's going to work pretty well. So it sits higher than a factory motor, so obviously that's why we had to cut some of the floor out for the transmission. And I'm almost positive I'm going to have to do a drive shaft enclosure, which is fine, but just want to make sure that the ladder bar crossmember lands in the right spot of where it's supposed to go, and make sure it's not too high. And to do that, like I said, I have to take everything out and put the rear end housing in, draw a string, or not draw a string, but use that string, make sure it's nice, straight, and tight, and that's going to tell us what we need to know. And from there, we can really start plotting this ladder bar crossmember. Hopefully get it pretty much set into place today, and put some mounts on it so that way we're good to go and we can take it out. We can weld it all up on the table over there, weld the ladder bar mounts to it and all that fun stuff in the coming future. So that's kind of where we're at. That's what we got going on. We're going to do ladder bar crossmember stuff. I'm not sure which step's getting taken first, but yes, that's what we got going on. I got to take all this stuff out. We got to find center, and then we're going to build. So that's what we got going on in today's video. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoy. Like what you guys just saw, took everything out the back. All of our little square tube down there, that's getting thrown out. But yeah, frame rails are off in the corner. It's all cleared out. I did get the rear end in, so now the next step is to bench press the transmission in. So that's what we're about to do. That is what I'm gonna do. And yeah, I just gotta undo the bolts on the mid plate, but it should stay in the mid plate for it to slide out and have to slide off of those dowel. But I just don't see it happen. But so I'm gonna undo those bolts in the mid plate and bench press the transmission in, and that should give us our straight line or our straight string. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm not super stoked about it, but I gotta do it. So all right, I'm gonna go bench press the tranny in. Yeah. So I'm just popping in to say the string has been ran. It's obviously not tight because I got to get the rear end exactly where it's supposed to be, and then I'll crawl back underneath, and I'll tie the string up to a relative center point. I kind of made a center with the other piece of string that you can see, but we're just gonna wrap it around, tighten it up a little bit, and use that as center. So just pop it in, say strings are in, transmission's in, rear end's in. I got true all this stuff up, and then we'll be ready to tighten the string down, find center, go from there. So that's where we're at. I'm just stopping in to say what we got going on and where we're at. So back to the video. All right, guys, so I'm actually going to finish this video off here. I'm going to cut it kind of short, but not without a little bit of update with what we got going on behind me. But first, I'm going to cut this video short, but there's for a good reason. Today, after I cut this video off, I'm going to pick up a few things. We're going testing, which is going to be really awesome. And it's for this weekend's race that has already happened. So hopefully you guys showed up and watched, and that's really cool. If not, then here's how this is going to go. This video is going to be uploaded Monday. The testing video, if everything goes right, allegedly, should be up on Wednesday. And then Friday, we are going to finish it off with the Star Spangled Shootout no prep race that we are attending tomorrow. But you guys have already hopefully showed up and watched it. So if you understand what I just said, then perfect, you get it. So yeah, tonight we're going testing. Tomorrow is the shootout. You guys are going to see testing on Wednesday and the shootout on Friday. All right, got it? Good, cool. So let me show you guys what we got going on and where I'm going to leave you guys off in this video. So what we have here, what we got going on here is the ladder bar is, well, zip tied in. It's kind of figured out. And I've learned that I did drop it. I did notch it, drop it down, and I need to move it forward based off of my ladder bar lengths and what the bar is doing and what these are doing. Obviously, these should be straight up and down, not crooked, but it's a start. I'm happy to have this started. So we do have to move forward just a little bit, and yeah, that's kind of where we're at. That's what we have at. That is what we have going on at the moment. But I do want to update you guys on our plan for the rear frame rail and where we're at with it. Obviously, there's nothing back there. We cut all of that out. We cut all the triangulated 4-link stuff out just to put a ladder bar in because I think it's going to work better for what we're doing. On top of that, let me explain, or let me tell you guys what we got going on with the frame rail situation and where we are thinking about going. So underneath pretty much every single car, the ladder bar sits, I'm losing it. Pretty much underneath every car, the ladder bar sits inside the frame rail. So if you look at here, what we were originally going to do is we were going to originally take these down bars and build our frame rail into them. So, our frame rail would come up to here. We'd cut it, notch it for the frame rail, and then the frame rail would travel to the back, and it would sit on top of the cross member. Now, what we ran into is we would have to put the ladder bar on the inside of the frame rail, and it makes the ladder bar super, super narrow. And it makes it so narrow that it doesn't make it's going to look bad. The car's not going to be super stable, and you have to think about all this stuff. So obviously, when I built this cage and I put it in, I didn't think that we were going to put a ladder bar in this car. I thought I'd be able to get it to sit how I want to, and it just turned into it cost way more to keep the 4-link than it would be the ladder bar, which sounds surprising, I know, but it is. I'm sure there's 1,000 people out there that's going to tell me I'm wrong, but it's whatever. I'm building it, not you. Cool. To kind of go along with that, so if we want to put the frame rails where these bars are, then the ladder bar is going to be super narrow and gross. So we want the ladder bar to be out here. So how are we going to combat that? Well, our thought is we are going to run are going to run the frame rails up and on the outside of these down bars. What we are going to do then is, so we're going to have a ladder bar that's on the outside of these bars, ladder bar on the outside of that bar, and then we are going to cut these and notch a straight tube this way up into here, and then we're going to attach that tube to the frame rail. So it's going to go frame rail, tube, this tube attached to the tube, which is attached to the frame rail. And I don't know, maybe I can draw that really quick and kind of give you a better representation. All right, so this is a very basic drawing. This is from the top of the car, looking in like you cut the roof off the thing. So you have your frame rail, you have your frame rail, you have your two down bars. We are going to attach a straight bar across to the two down bars that are going to attach to the frame rail, and then you'll have your ladder bars, you know, right in here, and your housing, you know, back here. So, well, actually housing would probably be like, you get the idea, you get this. So without drawing way too many more lines, you kind of understand what we're going to do with the rear frame rail and how we're going to make that work. And it's completely legal based off of everything I know, because they really care about the driver compartment. If I'm allowed to attach these tubes to sheet metal floor that is this thin, because that's all these tubes got attached to back here. If you really think about it, they got attached to a sheet metal trunk floor. I mean, the floor that you can tear if you really, you know. I tore it in the back when I was putting my battery shut off switch in. I welded it to the floor, and it was kind of the wrong position, and I was actually in trying to wiggle it free from the tacks, I actually tore the floor up. So, I mean, really, how safe is it to the floor anyways? So, you know, when you really think about it, it's probably a lot safer, a lot sturdier to attach these two bars to a bar that goes across, and then that bar that goes across is attached to two frame rails that are then going to be attached to the car in multiple different places, really, really strengthening and sturdying this thing up. So that's kind of where we're at. That's what we got going on. It's kind of the future plan of this thing. So ladder bar has kind of been decided. It needs to go forward a little bit. And we decided how we're going to make it work and make it work for our application with the tires, wheels and tires that we got. So that's where we're at. That's what we got going on. And I guess I'm going to finish this video off here. So thank you guys for watching. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Hope to see you guys in the next video. It's going to be testing, so it should be pretty cool. As long as all goes well. I'm not going to promise it's a testing video, but it should be. That's kind of what we got going on. That's where I'm going to leave this video off here. So we got the ladder bars in, kind of, and we know what we got to do next. So that's awesome. So like I was saying, thank you guys for watching. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I appreciate all the support, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next video.